Okay, so we're gonna start in a way we've never started before, on our bellies. So when you're ready, you can come to lay on your belly. You can stack your forehead over your fists if that feels good, and just make a pillow with your hands. And when you arrive, just allow your body to fully surrender here. Taking a nice cleansing breath, inhaling, filling up, feeling your belly expand into the ground, and releasing it all through the mouth. Making any little adjustments or movements that you need to make. Just tuning into your breath to start the practice. Noticing how you're starting the practice, how you're feeling physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Letting the face completely relax. Letting gravity draw the muscles of the face away from the bones. Surrendering in the shoulders, in the belly. And then you can begin to add some movements here. So you can start to shake your head no from side to side, massaging the third eye against the mat. Moving as slowly as you'd like to move. You can start to shake your hips side to side just by wiggling your glutes back and forth. Just releasing the low back. Or maybe you bend the knees and take some full windshield wipers. Just feeling how this massages your belly. Maybe feeling some movement in the belly if you've eaten recently. And letting your breath guide you, letting your breath guide the movements. Taking a few more breaths, moving wherever you go. And then when you're ready, you can allow your feet to reach long on the mat and the toes zipping up toward each other, big toes rooting closer into the mat, and the pubic bone rooting closer into the mat. And then you can come onto tented fingertips, bringing them kind of even with where your eyes are and off of your mat. So they're coming to the sides of the mat. So your elbows are pointing straight up. And then as you inhale, draw your shoulders together down the back, feeling how that lifts the heart into this variation of a cobra pose. Awesome. And then as you exhale, release down, leaving the hands where they are. So we'll do this a few times, doing these kind of cobra-like push-ups. Inhaling to lift the heart, letting the gaze be in front of the mat so the spine stays long. Beautiful. And then releasing down. So you can move with your own breath here, just like this. Maybe closing the eyes and seeing the spine wave up and down. Keeping the belly active. Keeping the pubic bone rooting down. And then the next time you are up here with the heart lifted, you can stay for a breath, feeling the heart be proud. And as you exhale, drop your right shoulder down and look over your left shoulder. Inhaling back to center. Exhaling other side. Left shoulder dips down, looking over right. And again, moving with your breath like this time. A few times back and forth, just getting into the shoulders. And then when you're ready, you can come back to center, release the hands back under the forehead, and just reset the spine. You can release the belly, release the sit bones, checking back in. And then as you feel ready, you can start to bring your hands underneath the shoulders so the elbows come closer to the ribs. And you can rest your forehead on the mat here for a moment. And then bend your knees in toward the bum and separate your knees as wide as your mat and bring the soles of your feet to find each other. Perfect. And now push the soles of your feet into each other and push your pubic bone into the ground at the same amount of pressure. And then as you inhale, rock your baby cobra. And as you exhale, release down. So we're just doing the baby cobras that we're used to, but with a variation in the legs. So you can move breath a few times, inhaling to rise the heart off the mat, and exhaling to surrender the head to the floor. Keeping the feet actively pushing into each other, keeping the pubic bone actively pushing down. And not so much pressure in the hands. You should be able to lift the hands off the mat. They're just there for support. And then next time you exhale, you can leave your head on the floor for a moment. And now really activating the hands underneath the shoulders, the elbows pointing up toward the sky. And then push your pubic bone into the ground, pull the navel into the spine, and rise yourself up and back all the way to a wide-legged child's pose. So the tops of the feet come to the ground, and the hips sit back on the heels. Perfect. And releasing here. Breathing into the hips, breathing into the shoulders. Activating your child's pose, rooting the hands into the ground. Rise yourself up to your tabletop. You can bring the knees to hips with distance and the hands underneath the shoulders for a moment. And just take a few side body or wag the tail a few times. Yeah. So just getting into the side bodies. And take a few cat cows if you'd like. Maybe rolling out the shoulders, maybe taking circles with the hips. Letting yourself move at the pace your body wants to move. And in the ways that your body wants to move. And then as you feel ready, no rush at all, you can find your way back to your neutral tabletop. Walking the hands forward, melting the heart down into puppy pose, getting deeper into the shoulders. And staying really active in the forearms and the hands. Keeping the hips over the knees. Forehead or chin resting on the mat or a block. Every exhale, feeling the shoulder blades draw actively closer to each other. And lifting the sit bones a little bit higher, feeling the energy reach through the space in between the sit bones. Perfect. Now on your next inhale, root down in the forearms, pull the navel up to the spine, and snake your body forward and through into your Sphinx pose, landing with the pubic bone on the ground. Perfect. Feeling the heart be proud. Feeling the belly stay slightly active, pulling your heart through the arms. And feeling as if you could drag the floor toward your toes. Perfect. On your next exhale, see if you can keep the arms exactly where they are, and using your core strength, and you can imagine there's a string at your tailbone, lift your sit bones back and up, right back into puppy pose. Awesome. Let's do that one more time. So you can inhale, snake your body forward and through to your Sphinx. Permission to move as slow as you need to. And exhale, lift the sit bones back and up to your puppy. Actually, I lied. Let's do it one more time. Whenever you're ready. You can inhale, snake the body through. No worries if you're moving really slow. Just focus on how this feels. And then meeting back in puppy pose. It's really good for your arm strength, your shoulder strength, as well as flexibility in the spine. Now from here, I'll start to pull the navel up to the spine, but this time walk the hands back into your tabletop position. You can do anything you need to do to reset, maybe circle out the shoulders. Just resetting the spine. And then on your next inhale, you can straighten out your right leg, but leaving the toes on the ground. So reaching through that heel and keeping the core pulled in tight to the spine. So keeping everything about your table super straight. Awesome. And now just pivot your heel to be on the floor. So your foot is parallel to the back edge of your mat. And rise your right arm up into a modified side plank. And if you want some more stability, you can turn your toes to point more toward, but you can pretend that this is like a full side plank. So really keeping your core super tight, feeling, you can look down and see that your foot is, or your heel is in line with your hips, shoulders, your head. And maybe taking a few circles with your top arm, slicing the air, the pinky side. If that feels good, you can just move that top arm how it feels good. Moving in both directions. You can even add movement into the hand and the fingers if you'd like, and always permission to close the eyes. And now option here to take this a little bit further if you want to challenge yourself a bit more, and rise your right foot off of the ground. So noticing how you have to keep that even more tight, the core. And you permission to stay here. If you want to come even further, you can bend your foot, bringing that closer to the bum, and then reaching back with the right arm, maybe reaching the foot or maybe just reaching toward it. Finding a focal. It's okay if you fall. And then if you do grab hold of the foot at any point, maybe if you practice again, start to kick your foot into the hand, feeling that nice back bend. Awesome. And then slowly release the foot, reach back forward, and let your foot come to the ground. Bring your hand back under the shoulder, bring your knees back under the hips, coming into tabletop. You can take or give your wrists a break and turn onto the backs of the hands with the fingers pointing towards your knees if that would. Maybe sinking the hips back. And then when you're ready, we'll do that on the other side. So you can extend your left leg back, reaching through that heel, keeping the toes on the mat, keeping the core really tight, and really just doing your best to keep everything about your table exactly the same. Perfect. And then you can pivot your heel to the ground so your foot's parallel to the back edge of the mat. And then rise your left arm up to the sky. Coming into that modified side plank. Again, you can turn your toes to face away from the mat for a little bit more stability. Take any movements with that top arm that you took on the other side. Moving that hand and fingers, however you move the other side. Staying with your breath. Reminding your forehead to relax, reminding your jaw to soften. And just feeling the support of your core. Feeling yourself lift up and out of your right shoulder so you're not dumping too much pressure into that arm or wrist. Awesome. And then if you did so on the other side, you can start to rise your left foot off of the ground, bringing that in line with the body. So it's as if you were standing on the wall. Keeping that foot flexed will really help you out. Keeping everything, all the muscles in that leg tight will help you out as well. And then you can stay here if this is good, or you can slowly start to bend your foot, bringing it closer to the bum, and then reaching your left hand toward that foot. Maybe grabbing hold of it. And then if you do grab hold of it, feeling the arm and the foot reaching in opposite directions. Feeling how that opens up the heart, the spine. Awesome. And then with control, you can slowly release your foot, release the hand, all back to home base. Slowly bringing your hand back under the shoulder and knee back under the hips. You can do anything to reset in the wrists, maybe turning back onto the hands again. And if you do turn onto the backs of the hands, you can bring your fingers to face each other and then rock side to side just for a little change. And when we got options. Great. And then whenever you feel ready, you can walk the hands forward slightly and tuck the toes under, lift the sit bones back and up to your down dog. Oh. Taking any move right when you arrive. Maybe letting the head dangle, yes and no. Maybe keeping the knees really bent and just lifting the sit bones even higher. Focusing on really just feeling the length in the spine. How long you can get that space from your fingertips, through the arms, through the neck, the shoulders, and the entire spine, all the way through the sit bones. And again, feeling that energy reaching through the space right in between the sit bones. Almost as if a small arch is forming in your lower back. Feeling that sensation and some nice length down. You can come onto your tippy toes and then let both of your heels fall to the right. Coming back onto the toes, letting both heels fall to the left. Moving or shaking the heels side to side. That can just, it's another option for some movement. And then as you feel ready, you can come back to your neutral down dog. And then we'll slowly start to walk the feet up to meet the hands, 1 foot at a time. And really just stepping each foot super slow so that you can notice how it feels in the hamstrings, how it feels in the spine. And come onto tented fingertips when you need to. And then making your way to your forward fold. Bending the knees quite generously. Letting it go through big exhales. Maybe sighing it out. Maybe letting the arms rest on the mat or grabbing opposite elbows. You can even hug the knees if that feels good. Feel the belly be soft. Feel the forehead, jaw. And start to shift your weight toward the balls of the feet and lift your sit bones a little bit higher. Awesome. On your next inhale, rise up to a halfway lift, feeling the core strong, feeling the spine straight. Bring your hands to your hips and bring yourself up to stand. Awesome. Inhale, reach both arms out and up, a back bend. And exhale, the hands come to heart center. Great. Now you can interlace the hands and bring the palms of the hands to face up toward the ceiling, feeling the space between the bottom of the ribs and the hips separating, side body super long. And then as you exhale, bend over to the right, and the movement might be really small. That's okay, just really feeling that space down the left side of the body. Each inhale reaching higher, each exhale bending a little bit deeper. Inhale back to center. Switch the crossing of your hands, so it's like the weird thumb is on top. And then reach back up toward the ceiling, the palms of the hands facing up. And then exhale, bend over to the other side. Keeping the belly pulled in, keeping the weight pretty even between both feet. Keeping the legs strong. Perfect. And then coming back to center as you inhale. And exhale, dive forward into your forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, really long spine. Exhale, forward fold. You can grab the big toes with your peace fingers, bending the knees as much as you need to. And then bend the elbows out to the sides. Pulling yourself a little bit closer to the ground, feeling how that gives you some extra length throughout the spine. You can feel really nice. Awesome. And then you can release the hands, plant them underneath the shoulders, and just step your feet back into a plank position as you inhale. Pausing in plank for a few breaths, feeling the strength of your core, feeling the resistance of the floor, feeling the pressure of gravity. Straight line from the heels through the crown of the head. Awesome. And then bringing the knees down if you need to, slowly bending the elbows alongside the ribs. Lower yourself all the way down to the mat. Inhale, lift the heart, baby cobra. And exhale, release. Inhale, push yourself back up however you want to. You can come right back up into your plank and tuck the toes, lift the hips, down dog, or through a tabletop or child's pose. Completely optional. It's just what you feel like working on today. Meeting in a downward facing dog as you're ready. On your next inhale, roll your body forward into a plank. And then one arm at a time, bring yourself onto your forearms. So coming into a forearm plank. The elbows will be underneath the shoulders, keeping the belly really tight. And you can bring the knees down here. If this is really difficult, you're still working the core. And now as you exhale, see if you can lift your sit bones back and up, just like you're coming into a down dog, but keeping the forearms where they are. This is dolphin pose. This is just a way to get into it. We'll work more with this. I just wanted to show you. So as you inhale, you can come forward into a forearm plank. And then as you exhale, you can come back into dolphin. These are called dolphin push-ups. If you want to work on balancing poses ever, or arm balancing, this is what you got to do. It's really hard. Okay. So next time you are in dolphin, now this can be really tricky, but this is just an option. Root more into the hands and start to straighten out each hand. You can do one at a time or together, and just come into your down dog. Yeah, okay, perfect. Whew, awesome. So you can bend the knees, look forward, and step up to your forward fold. Shake out the arms. Just relax the head, the torso. Good job with that. And then on your next inhale, root to rise all the way up to stand, gathering the air, reaching up and back. Exhale, hands to heart center. Awesome. On your next inhale, raise both arms up. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Plant the hands down, leave the right foot where it is. We'll step the left foot back into a low lunge, so you can let that knee come to the ground, but keep the toes tucked this time. And then rise your arms up into your low lunge. You can adjust your stance however you need to. You can slide something under your knee if you'd like. Feeling the tailbone reach down, feeling the spine super straight. Perfect. Keeping that knee over the front ankle. And then bring your hands to heart center and start to twist to your right. So you can stay up here like this, twisting just like this, or you can hook your elbow on the outside of the knee. And then if you hook the elbow, you can push your hands toward each other and look over your right shoulder. Awesome. And then push your knee back into your elbow. So you're pushing your knee out toward, perfect, yeah, out toward the right. So it's just you're using your limbs to help you, to stabilize you. And now with the back toes tucked under, see if you can lift the back of your knee toward the ceiling, straightening out the back leg into a high lunge twist. If not, that is okay. You can stay lowered. Yes. Awesome. Took me a very long time to do that. Just options. All right. And then you can bring the back knee down if it's up. Unwind, come back to center. Lift the arms high. And then exhale, bring the hands to frame the front foot. Back toes tucked, lift the back knee, and just step your back foot forward to meet your front foot into your forward fold. Taking it out, letting go, whatever you need to let go of. And then next inhale, come into your halfway lift, resetting the spine, feeling it nice and straight. Exhale, forward fold. Plant the hands, leave the left foot where it is this time, and we'll step the right foot back into a low lunge. So you can keep the toes tucked this time as well. Rise the arms up when you're ready, when you feel stable. And adjust your feet whenever you need to, however you need to. Really focus on feeling the four corners of your front foot, feeling the strength of this leg, and feel the tailbone tucked down because that'll stabilize the core and feel the low belly really tight. The arms can reach up, and then you can bring the hands to heart center and start to twist to your left. And you can stay rising up here like this, or you can bring the elbow to hook on the outside of the knee. And again, so you're pushing the hands are pushing into each other and feeling the hands come closer to heart center, and then pushing the outside of the knee into the elbow as you push the elbow into the knee. Feeling really sturdy here. And then with the back toes tucked, it can be really helpful to look down at the ground if you want to try to raise your back leg just for stability. And then start to really flex the back leg, lifting the back of the knee toward the ceiling. Awesome. Perfect. Feeling the belly pull in. Great. And then slowly letting your back knee come to the ground. Slowly rising back up, then unwinding. Reach the arms high. And then exhale, arms frame the front foot. Lift the back knee and step forward into your forward fold. Letting it go. Shaking out the head. We're almost at the yin portion. One more thing on either side. On your next inhale, rise yourself up to stand. Lifting the arms up. And exhaling the hands to heart center. You can shake out the legs, maybe massage the hips a little bit if they feel like they want that. And then when you are ready, we will inhale the arms up and exhale, sit the hips down into chair pose. So your chair can be like this. It can be super mild. You just want to come, as soon as your knees start to go over your toes, you want to come up. You want to be able to see your toes from when you look straight down. And you want your length in the low back. So the tailbone's really pointing down and the belly's really strong. And then if you want more of a challenge with the arms, you can bring the biceps up alongside the ears, or you can also bring the hands to heart center. You can bring the hands to hips. Many variations with the arms. But feel as if there was a block between your thighs and you're squeezing them in toward each other, but they're not touching, they're just really active. Great, and then leave your right foot where it is and step the left toes back into a high lunge. So the back heel is lifted this time. And it doesn't have to be super crazy, super far away. Just come to where you feel stable, or relatively so. It's okay that you're shaky. And then as you exhale, open yourself up to warrior two. Feel that hip really open up, feeling the right hip tucking under as the knee reaches toward the pinky side of the foot. Perfect. Just feeling the power of this pose for a moment, feeling the feet and legs super strong. And now we'll spin the arms back, the arms and the hips back square to the front of your mat. So you can spin them as you lift your back heel, kind of in a fancy way. Awesome. And then step forward into your chair pose. And you can reset here if you want, but if you want more of like a challenge for yourself, we'll just step the right foot back into your lunge on the other side. Awesome. You can notice how this side feels second time around, feeling how strong you are. Really good. And then open yourself up into warrior two on the other side. Feeling that left hip tuck under as the knee reaches toward pinky side of the foot. Awesome. Feeling the heart center really proud and expansive. Lengthen the lower back. Beautiful. And then seeing if you can spin your arms and lift your back heel at the same time, bringing yourself back into your high lunge. Perfect. And then with control, stepping forward into your chair pose just for a moment. And then exhale into your forward fold. Shake the head yes and no. Let it go, let big exhales out. And then when you're ready, you can plant the hands down. And we'll step back into a really brief down dog. We're just coming into a child's pose when you're ready. So you can let the knees find the ground. It can be any sort of child's pose you'd like. Knees together, knees wide. Arms can be wherever they're comfortable. And just let go here. Let the shoulders soften. Let the face soften. Let the belly be soft. And let the shoulders be even softer. And the breath starting to catch up with the body. Feeling any sweat. Feeling anything that was built up from that practice we just did. Making note of what you'd like to let go of during this yin portion of the class. And then when you're ready, you can reach the arms forward if they're not there. Pull yourself up slowly into your tabletop. And then we'll come into a pigeon pose on the right side. So you can bring your right knee behind the right wrist and the foot coming off toward the left and scooching your left knee back so that you're laying in your pigeon. You can stay lifted for as long as feels good, maybe just situating yourself, and then eventually walking the arms forward first, just keeping that length in the spine, and then eventually coming onto the forearms. And if this is lifted and it feels uncomfortable, you can slide something under there. But if it's resting or if it's comfortable where it is, you can just stay there. And see what you can soften here in this pose. Notice what's holding on in the hips. Maybe in the back, maybe in the shoulders. And seeing what more softness you can create. And when you notice an area that feels particularly tense, or when you're feeling resistance in a particular area, letting that be your opportunity to soften. You can treat this like a game, watching where the tension goes, consciously softening that place. If at any point you feel any sense of pain, ease off a bit. Just learning the difference between discomfort and pain. Discomfort is good. It challenges us to rise to the occasion. It brings us to a new place that we haven't been before or we're not comfortable in. We can challenge ourselves to find that comfort within the discomfort, which is particularly relevant these days. It's hard to find any sort of comfort, usually. So this practice will help in every single area of life. There's always comfort to be found. And just trusting that, trusting yourself, and trusting the order of events. Let's take about 5 more full exhales here. And slowly, you can begin to come on to the forearms, onto the hands. And then to come out of this, we're going to bring both of our hands to your left and slide coming onto both sit bones. And then bring your left toes to face up toward the ceiling and bring the sole of your right foot to the inside of your left calf. Yeah, perfect. So now we're coming into our one-legged butterfly. So you can stay lifted here to just feel your center, feel the hips, feel some straightness for a moment. And then when you're ready, you can surrender forward. If you have any sort of props or pillows or anything, you can come forward there. Or if you're good on the floor, you can rest there. But just letting the spine curl, letting it surrender. Noticing how this feels in the legs, the spine. The same thing that we just did. Seeing what else you can let go of. And a lot of times in moments of stillness, our mind can become one of two things. It can either become a lot quieter or it can become super loud. And that can change any given moment. So you can notice where you are this moment. Maybe the mind is having an easy time surrendering today. Or maybe there's even more chatter going on. And meditation and yoga is not about stopping the chatter. It's not about stopping the thoughts. It's about becoming aware of them. You don't need to have no thoughts to meditate. You just need to watch the thoughts. You can treat each thought as if it was a car on a highway. Just watching the cars come and letting them go. You don't have to jump on a car and ride with it. You can watch it come, notice the color, notice the shape, and then let it go. I'm doing this with each thought that comes, making note of each thought, sending it on its way, watching the next thought come. Relaxing the jaw, the forehead. Let all the skin and muscles on your face just hang off the bones. Taking 5 more breaths. And then slowly starting to roll the spine back up to your seat. And then we'll come in to our pigeon pose on the other side when you feel ready. So to do that, you can extend your right leg this time and put a bend in your left leg, bringing that shin kind of close to parallel, but not really, just bringing it to the back, toward the back of your mat, or whichever way you didn't face. So then rolling on to the hips. Yeah, perfect. And then you can look back and just make sure that this leg stays in line with your hip. Adjust yourself as you need to, staying lifted as long as you'd like, and then coming to rest as you're ready. You can notice how this side feels compared to the last. Notice what the breath is doing. Seeing if you can find just a little bit more softness in your left hip, your left thigh. Just watching your body unfold. In Yin, we can really see the beauty and patience of the body. When we first enter a pose, sometimes it can feel almost impossible or very uncomfortable or just not right. But then once we give in, once we surrender, and tell our body it's okay, there's nowhere else you should be, you're doing what you should be doing, talking kindly to the body and to the mind, our body will naturally surrender. It will naturally unfold to places you didn't think were possible before. And this really is a metaphor for all of life. And as soon as we surrender, as soon as we let go of control, our life is laid out right in front of us in the most beautiful way, in a way we couldn't have even planned. It's trusting. Taking 5 more breaths. Slowly, as you're ready, beginning to peel yourself off the mat, coming onto the hands. And then coming into that one-legged butterfly on the other side. So you can roll onto both sit bones, extending the right leg, toes facing up, and the sole of the left foot coming inside the right thigh. And you know where you're going here, so just letting yourself surrender naturally as you feel ready. Relaxing the neck. Relaxing the eyelids and the eyebrows. Letting the jaw soften. Letting your belly become softer. Letting the glutes become softer. Resting in complete stillness. Resting in that place between the past and the future. And staying in that role of the observer. Simply observing everything about this moment. Observing everything and nothing all at the same time. Observing the pure stillness of the moment. For 5 more deep breaths. And then slowly, gently rolling the spine back up to your seat. You can just bring both of your knees in toward your chest and give yourself a really big hug. Letting out anything you need to let go of. And as you feel ready, making your way to lay on your back. And maybe take windshield wipers, or maybe you're just still. Maybe you're ready for Shavasana right away. If that's the case, you're more than welcome to rest fully. If there are any last minute movements you would like to take to complete your practice, you may do so. But not hesitating whenever you're ready, resting fully. Feeling the skin of your forehead expanding and softening. Allowing your brain to rest back toward the mat, toward the earth. Allowing the cheeks to soften and the jaw to fully release. Tune into your heartbeat. And feel a small light forming at your heart center. With each beat of your heart, that light gets a little bit brighter and a little bit bigger. Feel the warmth of this light. Feel this warmth spread down the arms into the palms of your hands. Feel the warmth spread down your torso into the belly. Notice that heartbeat in your belly. Feel the light spread into the glutes and the pelvic floor, creating even more softness here. Light spreading down the legs, softening every muscle as it does so. Coming into the soles of the feet and the toes. Feel the light rise up your throat, coming into the head, coming into the space between the eyebrows and the very crown of your head. Feeling your entire body lit up with this healing light that came from your own heart center. Watch as this light drives out any darkness or anything that doesn't serve you. Just knowing that darkness cannot exist in the presence of this light. Allowing any toxins or negativity to exit the body through the back of your heart, or the space between the shoulder blades. Letting it all go. And letting the light reseal this passage through the back of the heart. Solidifying all the healing benefits within your body. Resting a few more moments. If you'd like to lay longer, please do so. And if you're ready, you slowly begin to come out of this pose. First, by calling more air into the body, calling in pure life force, feeling yourself fill up. Wiggling the fingers and toes and the head. Taking a nice morning stretch. And then you feel ready. Finding your way into a fetal position in your own time. And as you feel ready, you slowly come up to your seat, meaning put the hands at heart center. Just taking this moment to fully and deeply thank yourself today. Thanking your body for being so strong, and your mind and your heart for bringing you here. May this practice continue to keep healing you throughout the night into a wonderful night's sleep. And may you bring some of this into everything you do and to everyone that you see. Namaste.